Love isn't always simple, and passion often comes at a price. Welcome to Intrigue Romance, where secrets, betrayal, and forbidden desires collide. Tonight, we take you into a story you won't forget, where love is never what it seems. At 25, Claire thought her life was finally on the right track. She had worked hard to secure a marketing job in the city, rented a cozy apartment she could call her own, and had a circle of friends who were always there for her. Love wasn't a priority until she met Ethan at a mutual friend's party. Ethan was charming in a way that immediately drew people in. With his deep brown eyes, easy smile, and effortless confidence, he had a way of making everyone feel special. But that night, his focus was solely on Claire. Their conversation flowed naturally, and by the end of the evening, she found herself giving him her number. From the very beginning, Ethan made Claire feel like she was living in a fairy tale. He texted her good morning every day, planned elaborate dates, and constantly reminded her how special she was to him. It wasn't long before Claire found herself falling hard. She thought she had finally met the man who would love her unconditionally. "You don't have to worry about anything," Ethan told her one evening as they walked through the park. "I'll always take care of you. I'll never stop loving you." Claire smiled, her heart full. She begged him never to stop, and he promised her he wouldn't. But as time passed, Ethan's love began to feel different. His constant attention, once comforting, started to feel overwhelming. He wanted to know where she was at all times, who she was talking to, and what she was doing. If her phone buzzed, he'd ask, "Who's texting you?" If she went out with her friends, he'd call repeatedly, saying, "I just miss you. Can you come home?" Claire told herself this was just how Ethan loved, deeply, intensely. But deep down, a part of her felt uneasy. One night, after a particularly long day at work, Claire came home exhausted. She hadn't responded to Ethan's messages because she needed a moment to breathe. Minutes after she walked through the door, there was a knock. When she opened it, Ethan stood there, his expression dark. "Why didn't you answer me?" he demanded. Claire sighed, too tired to argue. "I just needed some time to relax, Ethan. It's been a long day." His voice softened, but his words stung. "Time to relax? Without me? Claire, I'm the one who's always here for you. Don't you see that?" The tension in the room was suffocating. Claire felt a knot tighten in her chest. She had once begged Ethan to never stop loving her, but this wasn't love, it was control. The turning point came when Ethan showed up at her office unexpectedly. He accused her of spending too much time with a male coworker, his voice rising loud enough for everyone to hear. The humiliation was unbearable. That night, Claire sat in the quiet of her apartment, tears streaming down her face as she realized how much of herself she had lost. She remembered the Claire she used to be before Ethan, a woman who was confident, independent, and full of dreams. Slowly, she began to see that Ethan's love was never about her. It was about his need to possess her, to control her. Making the decision to leave wasn't easy. Claire knew Ethan wouldn't let go without a fight, but she also knew she couldn't keep sacrificing her happiness for his obsession. She moved to a new apartment, blocked his number, and started therapy to heal from the emotional wounds he had left behind. Ethan tried to reach her in every way possible, voicemails, emails, even showing up outside her old apartment, but Claire held firm. She had begged him to never stop, and he hadn't. But now, she was the one putting an end to it. Months later, Claire found herself rediscovering the parts of her life she had forgotten. She began painting again, something she hadn't done in years. She reconnected with friends, joined a hiking group, and learned to love her own company. Looking back, Claire realized that love should never come at the expense of one's freedom. True love doesn't smother or control. It uplifts, nurtures, and allows both people to thrive as individuals. Now, when Claire thinks of Ethan, she doesn't feel anger or regret, just gratitude for the lessons she learned. She made a promise to herself that she would never lose her identity for someone else again. And this time, it's a promise she intends to keep.